Welcome to Ghost Stories Online. This is the first ghost story that I will be telling. This ghost story comes from my hometown of Rochester, New York. It is called The Legend of Long Pond. A young Seneca couple journeyed along Lake Ontario to join their families on the Niagara River. They camped near Long Pond in today's Greece and met a handful of fellow travelers. The Genesee Valley could be lawless in pre-revolutionary days. The travelers were a party of white renegades. At first, they shared fire and conversation. But then, they cast admiring eyes on the fair young woman. They drew closer to her and stopped addressing the husband. Soon, one started going through the few belongings of the couple, looking for anything of value. Others started pawing the wife and told the husband to scram. They either didn't know he was Seneca or didn't know the Senecas at all. The young man drew the only weapon near him, his knife, and fell on them instantly. His wife ran into the darkness. One renegade who turned to follow her took a mortal wound. It was clear that any who turned to chase her would share his fate as long as her husband lived. He dealt at least one more death blow and wounded many, but the white men had numbers, clubs, and tomahawks. The young Seneca man suffered many wounds and at last dove into the pond. Somewhere near the center, he went under, singing his death song. All was still, and the whites stood with their guilt in the firelight. Suddenly, from an invisible grove, they heard the woman's voice, chanting bitterly. None needed to know Seneca tradition to know that they were being cursed. They never reached their destination. No one knew what became of them, whether they were finished by a party of avenging Senecas or by something less material and far worse. Ever since, a legend has surrounded Long Pond. The husband's noble form reappears as a sheeny spirit in the center of the waters. Images are common in pools by moonlight, when imaginations are enhanced by darkness. The apparition could be anything, but whatever it is, historian Shirley Cox Husted recalls seeing it. That is the legend of Long Pond. There are many other ghost stories from my hometown. Those will be shared at a later date. If you enjoyed this story, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Next week, the story will not be from my hometown, but from somewhere else. Thank you for listening to Ghost Stories Online.